Well, if that ain't paradise, I don't know what is. It's incredible.
Just amazing.
We have never seen anything like this.
This is the best day ever.
G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jack if you're new here. Myself and my partner Megan have been travelling Australia for the last 11 months in our Toyota Troop carrier, and we now like to think that we have a pretty good understanding on what you need to purchase for your extended road trip or your lap around Australia. Now, we're definitely not professionals, but if I can just help one person out there, that would make my day. So we'll jump straight into it, and we'll start with a decent air compressor. Now, just save your pennies and go buy a quality air compressor, because the last thing you want to be doing is coming off the Gibb River Road and it's hot, dusty, and you're probably going to be over it by the end of the road, and the last thing you want to do is be waiting to pump up your tyres for half an hour. So quality air compressor that doesn't overheat and is just renowned for being a good compressor. Now, we went with the ARB twin compressor. I heard great reviews on it, and to be honest, it has performed very well. It has not broken down once, it has not overheated at all. It actually just sits just inside the wall here of the car, and to be honest, it's in a very enclosed area, and I have had that in some insane heat, pumping up 8 tyres at a time, and it has not had any problems. And the amount of time that it takes to actually pump the tyres up is just insane. So go out and invest in a good compressor and a good pressure gauge, because it'll make your life a lot more easier on the road. Alright, so moving over to the bottle jack here. I got an 8,000 kilo super cheap auto bottle jack. Now, the Troopy is pretty heavy, so I needed a nice quality bottle jack. I had a choice to go with a one of those kangaroo jacks, the high lift jacks, sorry, and I didn't really think that I'd need that. So I went with an extendable top here, and like I said, it's 8,000 kilos, so that extends up, and it actually packs away quite small, so that they will go into each other and it becomes your lever. So a nice quality small jack that can go in a drawer, but can still perform when you need it to. I would highly recommend one of these. I've used it a few times now, and it does what it needs to do. Alright, moving over. Solar panel. I started with a solar panel on the roof. Soon came to find that you will be parking in the shade most of the time. You're going to see a tree, you're going to go, yep, I'm going to go park under there. It'll happen, believe me. We've done it right now. So solar blanket, invest in a quality solar blanket, work out all your numbers, and you'll work out what kind of solar panel you need. I'm not going to go through that today. You can go do some research on YouTube and you can work that out pretty easily. So a nice quality solar blanket is 100%, it should be on your list. You need a solar blanket. Alright, so that's it for these small items here, and we'll jump inside the cab and I'll run you through a few things we've got in the front there. Okay, so the cockpit, front of the car. Now, the first thing I would say you need to have in here is quality seating. Now, you're going to spend so much time in here driving with your partner or your kids in the back. You're going to want some good seats. Now, the best thing about these seats I have installed in the car are the lower lumbar support. They got this air option here which pumps it up and it relieves all the pressure off your lower back. Now, if you're like me and you have lower back problems or back problems in general, which a lot of people do, that release of pressure on your lower back is incredible. It makes a massive difference. Now, if you can't afford chairs like this, I couldn't really afford them. I just got very lucky on Gumtree and picked them up for $1,000. I think they retail for $5,000, so I got very lucky with that, and I'm very thankful for that. If you can't afford it, like I said, you should get maybe something that just sits there on your chair and it pushes that pressure off, and maybe something that sits along the bottom, because your chair is going to sag over time from the amount of time that you're sitting in it. It's going to wear out. So invest in something like that. You want to be comfortable when you're driving. These chairs do have a built-in shock absorber as well. I'm not sure if it makes a world of difference with that shock absorber, but it definitely works. The feature works on it, and I'm not really sure. Like I said, I don't know if it makes a big difference, but yes, they have a shocky in there as well. Alright, so over here we got a Pioneer Apple CarPlay with a nice big screen. Now, the reason I say I would recommend having something like that, or a Garmin or a Hema Maps, is because when you're driving on highways with road trains, it's actually come in handy massively. In the last few days, I've come from Karijini to Karratha, and there is an incredible amount of road trains. I actually couldn't believe how many there were. It was incredible. And they're so long as well that some of them have 4 carriages on there, and it's just incredible. So when you're driving along, you don't know sometimes if there's a bend coming up. It may look like it's okay to overtake, but if you go for the overtake, especially in the Troopy, it's not the fastest car in the world. I could go for the overtake and there could be a bend coming up around the corner, and I didn't know it was there. So what I'll do is I'll zoom out on my directions. Megan's got her phone plugged into Google Maps, and I can actually pinpoint where a nice long straight's going to be, and it makes a world of difference. Just before I overtake, I'll get on the two-way. That's another thing you must have, I believe, and I'll talk to the truck driver and I'll say, "Hey, go mate, all right to come round in the Troopy," and he'll give you the go-ahead. So GPS setup, each to their own. I'm not telling you to go buy a CarPlay, but it is a very nice feature to have, and a two-way. All right, so we'll jump around to the back, and there's a few more things I got to show you around there. Okay, so at the back of the car, a spare tire bin bag. Now, I think this is a must to keep your rubbish outside and stop it from stinking inside. This particular one is called a camp cover bag. It's got 2 compartments, and it opens up quite large as well, so it gives you an option to have it nice and compact. And then when you need that extra room, the Velcro allows you to pull it apart. And it's got 2 sections. We keep our rubbish in the big section in a bin bag, and the top section here, we've got our platform that we stand on when we have showers, and I've got a hose in there as well. It also allows for you to have, I've got a small shovel in there from King Super Centre. It's a collapsible one, and it goes quite small and slips in there, and I've got some fly repellent as well. So just keep that in mind. You've got a little bit extra room behind there, and the zips are holding up, Velcro's holding up. There's obviously 1,000 brands out there, but yeah, the camp cover one is what I went with, and I'm pretty happy with my investment there. So that's that one there. That's a no-brainer to have. You should definitely have one of them to keep your rubbish in particular from inside the car. Now, you may have seen it in previous videos, or if you're new here, we've got a Max Tracks table on the side of the Troopy as well. The Troopies are well known for that. They've got a lot of space to allow for things like that. And you can also put a table on the rear door here, like we've got here. We've got a front runner one. Most cars will allow for a table at the back like what we've got here. Not particularly the front runner one, but it'll allow you to build one on the rear of the door card. The Parados, the Troopies, most Land Cruisers. There's a lot of cars out there that you can do it on, and it just comes in handy so much, just being able to fold the table up like that, and your table's away. You don't have to pull out a foldable table or anything like that. It makes the experience so much better. The less stuff you got to pull out from inside the car when you get to camp, the better. The better the experience is going to be. So a table and a wheel bag carrier, must-haves, I reckon. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is your sleeping quarters. Now, whether it be a roof conversion, rooftop tent, swag, tent on the floor, a hammock, if that's what you're going for, do your research. There is so much information out there on YouTube, Google, all those platforms. That's the main thing I think Megan and I did, was we put so much effort into our research, and we got most of it right. I think it's what's made our experience really nice on the road. We still got a lot of things wrong. I don't think you'll ever get it 100% right. You can never have everything perfect. But from the research we did after work every day and the hours we put in, it has made the experience so much better. So make sure you got a good bed, 2 good pillows or a good pillow. And we started off with a doona, but we just found we were fighting over it because it does get quite cold at night in particular parts of Australia. So we went with 2 sleeping bags, and that has been perfect so far. We unzip them and it turns into a nice big blanket, and we've got one each, so that's perfect. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it with the modifications and accessories that I'd recommend on the road. If I've helped just one person, it will make my day. And if you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. And we've just started a Patreon as well. If you'd like to support the channel, we would greatly appreciate it. We'll see you on next episode, guys.